Buonasera, 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 bentornati su Genshin Impact. Stasera frizzante, eh? Stasera la sento frizzante, devo essere sincero. Potrebbe essere molto interessante questa puntata. Sono molto curioso di sapere dove vuole andare a parare, sia per la parte di menare gli schiaffi, che immagino sarà il tipico dungeon in solitaria che abbiamo visto spesso e volentieri, sia perché vorrei capire dove vuole andare a parare con la questione di Childe, dato che appunto è una situazione un po' particolare. È stato accusato, non ho ben capito di cosa, o meglio, in realtà sì, l'abbiamo capito, è stato accusato di aver rapito le varie ragazze. Sono dalla parte giusta? Il gioco non sa dirmi dove devo andare. Benissimo. Ma proprio alla grande, direi. Che faccio io? Come raggiungo questo posto? Dal tetto? Boh, vediamo. Non lo so, non lo so. Navigare il fondo. La questione di fare i livelli verticali. Tua mamma puttana. Quella balorda proprio. E che è davvero un cacatoio da navigare. Guarda qua, guarda qua. Guarda qua. E dove cazzo devo andare? Torno indietro, che devo fare? Fa schifo, fa genuinamente schifo se non è un buon sistema di movimento stile Spider-Man che ti permette di capire dove cioè, non tanto che ti permetta di capire, ma che ti permetta di navigare bene il posto. Il fatto che io debba cercare per 2 minuti buoni di capire cosa devo fare per raggiungere un'area fa schifo. Fa schifo. Fa molto schifo. Io non so perché siano così fissati da Sumeru in poi. Anzi, in realtà già in Azuma. Da Inazuma in poi si sono fissati con la questione della verticalità. Che immagino sia un modo necessario per permettere di avere la quantità di content che vogliono avere in zone così piccole, diciamo. Perché comunque l'area geografica che la mappa deve raccogliere è quella, però allo stesso tempo loro vogliono avere sempre più roba perché i giocatori devono esplorare sempre di più e di conseguenza, non lo so, per me è davvero un po' una cagata. Trovo davvero poco divertente la verticalità nelle mappe, da sempre, ma in qualsiasi gioco. Io ricordo che quando giocavo a COD Modern Warfare 2 mi divertivo un sacco, ma poi passavo a Apex e mi veniva da piangere perché non riuscivo a gestire la verticalità. È una cosa che io proprio non apprezzo per un cazzo. Però, vabbè, gusti personali, I guess. Comunque, dirigiamoci verso il nascondiglio dei produttori di synth. In tutto questo ho portato quasi maxato il mio Zhongli, che abbiamo raccattato 2 giorni fa. Sono molto contento di questa cosa. Prima o poi, magari dopo il fine settimana, lo proverò nell'Abyss. E vedremo un po'. Oh, uova. Grazie. Sono una brutta persona, lo so. Chissà se con il buon Zhongli riusciremo a fare un Abyss. Una volta ce la faceva a fargli 36 stelle. No, fra, sei un pezzo di merda. Una volta riuscivo a fare, poi mi sono semplicemente rotto il cazzo, perché la quantità di tempo che spreco nel cercare di riuscire a fare qualcosa è così esuberante e esagerata rispetto all'effettivo reward di ottenere neanche un pull. Neanche un pull intero? Ce la fai? Porco, ce la fai? Ce la fai? Grazie. Neanche un pull intero, sprecare magari 20 minuti. No, grazie. Decisamente non fa per me. Eccoci qua.
Finally found it. Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary at all.
Ha senso?
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms.
Sì.
Navia's
Vabbè.
probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Invece ci ha preso il cazzo. Chi è che sarà il procuratore di questo caso? Sempre Florina, là,
It would
come cazzo
appear
si
that I
chiama?
must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In
No,
which case,
no.
as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out
No,
fight
ma-
with that champion duelist Clorend, right?
Però c'è il problema è
I've
che
gotta
poi c'è...
admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
Sì, ma...
When I
Magari
privately
discutiamone
sparred with her
prima?
last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. And we have made very little
Non
progress.
dubitavo, non dubitavo
In that case,
onestamente.
let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man. Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics?
Minchia.
We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Ah,
And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default. Correct?
ok.
A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer.
Perfetto.
So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
Cosa? Cast case record. Che...
Something's not...
Ah no, infatti, no, potevo sceglierne altri, ok. Floren... Ah, giusto, è Marcel, quindi. Quindi abbiamo deciso di andare all out con Marcel.
The head of confrérie of Cabriere.
Vabbè, così a caso, bro. Cioè, non
Never heard of them in my life.
abbiamo neanche investigato per
I've
5
heard of
minuti
them, but
dopo aver fatto
weren't
questa
they
scelta.
Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
Perfetto.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial.
Infatti, cioè, mi chiedo come la prenderà lui.
Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Ok.
Do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Ok. Oh, merda.
On the day of the murder, Spina
Ah, quindi è una roba
Giulia
tipo
hosted a large banquet in a
doppio...
countryside estate owned
Double
by the
tag team?
confrérie of Cabrières.
Ok. Quindi eravamo, certo, nella campagna.
During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard.
Ok, su questo siamo tutti
When the
certi.
guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound.
Fino a qui.
The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life.
Perfetto.
The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries.
Perfetto. E fino a qui.
These are the known facts about the case.
Mi sembra tutto corretto. No?
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Certo. Ok, e questo sono io adesso? Sembra di sì. Allora, the murder spina rosa was the target. E fino a qui. Perfetto. You made 2 gunshots. Who had the motive to kill murder Jacques? Non è vera questa cosa. Era... Aspetta. Infatti non era Callas che aveva il motivo di uccidere, ma era Jacques.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin.
Ok. Quindi abbiamo la scena del crimine. Did not bring a gun with him. After ok, moreover, the possible existence of a third. Ok. Callas case record, clothing on an unknown person. Eccoci qua.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Ma come l'ha fatto sciogliere? Cioè, perché avrebbe dovuto? Ha nascosto la sua identità. Cioè, ha nascosto l'identità della persona che avrebbe potuto prendersi la colpa. Quindi a questo punto, chiaramente...
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene. And that they were turned into water after committing the murder.
Ma da chi e come? Perché?
The culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone. Quindi c'era una quarta persona. C'erano Callas e Jacques che erano fuori. Jacques avrebbe dovuto uccidere Callas, ma ha deciso di non farlo. Di conseguenza è stata mandata questa terza persona ad assassinare entrambi. Ma questa terza persona è morta dopo aver sparato a Jacques. Ed è morta per mano di Callas. Poi è arrivata una quarta persona, che a quanto pare sarebbe Marcel, che ha fatto sparire questa terza persona, lasciando di conseguenza solo Callas e Jacques. Ma quando è successa sta cosa? Cioè, com'è possibile? Qualcosa non mi torna. No? Perché appunto Marcel è arrivato insieme a noi. Quindi cosa fa? Dico, scusate un attimo, rimango da solo con il cadavere. Oh, non c'è più un cadavere? Cioè, come mi sembra un po' strano. Non penso proprio.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
A quanto pare.
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your
Ma non ne ha
innocence.
bisogno, non ci sono prove per dichiarare che questa teoria è valida.
In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Appunto?
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up?
Finalmente! Qualcuno si è ricordato delle prove, finalmente!
At least not at this very moment.
Era ora.
If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match.
Come fai?
Considering the serial
Che cazzo vuol
disappearances
dire?
case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that
ok.
time, regardless of age or gender.
Tu dici che c'è qualcuno che è sparito in quel giorno preciso e quindi puoi fare uno più uno, ok?
This to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Dici?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
Non lo so, mi sa più la
Second
prima,
question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
Però chi ci avrebbe
I thought
creduto,
about this
sinceramente?
too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more
Sì,
important to him.
questo ha
The
senso, per
dissolving
carità,
power
però chi ci
of
avrebbe
water
creduto
from the
all'epoca?
primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice.
Certo.
What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist.
Addirittura?
But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn.
And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
A quanto pare sì.
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course.
Sì?
All you need is
Ah, è vero,
to ask
effettivamente.
his opponent, Clarand.
Certo. Che fra l'altro è stata zitta fino alla stronza,
Your guilt or your
Mica
support
parla.
from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Ah, minchia. Molto diretta e molto chiara.
Since that's your testimony,
Infraintendibile.
I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Bello, però non ce ne frega un cazzo.
About the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
Ah sì?
So that's why
Questa cosa non era vera? Era al trial? Marcel non l'abbiamo mica visto.
I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
Chiamalo endearing.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute the points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events?
Dio sì, ti prego. Finalmente qualcuno che capisce come funziona un tribunale.
Present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Cazzo, vedi, questi sono i tipici rebuttal che trovi in Phoenix Wright. Cioè, aggredisci la logica, aggredisci le
You
prove.
might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson.
Minchia, se questo è stato scritto da uno che ha capito come funziona Phoenix Wright.
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
Ma davvero non ci hai pensato a sta cosa? Ma siete deficienti.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Che poi questa cosa mi fa il doppio ridere, perché lui sta dicendo sì, ma quando sono iniziati, quando sono iniziate le sparizioni io non ero neanche qua. Ma gli altri due imputati non hanno neanche l'età necessaria per poter essere imputati in questo caso. Cosa sta succedendo? Cosa sta succedendo?
Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
Eccoci qua.
At this
Abbiamo
rate,
fatto più di me.
Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
Molto bene.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well.
Sì, ma non...
And whose image do you
manca
see,
proprio la
Marcel?
sostanza.
Is it a man named Vacher?
Vacher?
Oh, so you do know that name.
Che cazzo?
Merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I
Cosa
was
c'entra
waiting
adesso?
for you to say that.
Scusami, sto plot twist di Vacher? Bro? Così da nulla? Che significa Vascemo? Pronto? Party setup. Voglio setuppare il party. No, dovremmo farcela già con questo, secondo me.
Fallen leaves. Adorn.
Here comes the catch. Busted.
Fine, fine, go!
One with nature.
Vabbè, forse ho anche un po' esagerato. Oserei dire. No, 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 no! Oh. Perché questo gioco mi odia? Ma come faccio a farlo scendere?
Into the wind.
Quindi Vacher... Effettivamente mi era completamente sparito dalla testa l'idea di Vacher e tutto quanto. Questa cosa non scende più? Come funziona? Sono fottuto. Non posso più salire? Ah, minchia. Dai, ci ho messo solo 2 giorni a salire e scendere. Fare un tasto sotto? No, troppa fatica.
Time to go.
Vabbè.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way.
Il way sarà menare qualcuno come al solito, Paimon. Quale vuoi che sia la way? Però cazzo, mi hanno lasciato con l'acquolina in bocca. Voglio saperne di più adesso. Cosa c'entra Vacher? Come fa Marcella a sapere chi è sto Vacher? Non... Sono stati bravissimi, però mi infastidisce tanto. Più che altro perché temo che questa roba durerà tipo... Cioè, avrebbero dovuto fare secondo me magari metà e metà. Cioè, non in questo modo metà e metà. Più stacchi, no? Quando chiami Marcel, stacchi, inizi con la parte di combattimento qua del dungeon, poi fai una parte qua, stacchi, torni su Marcel che è arrivato in tribunale e fai tutta la parte di Navia, poi stacchi di nuovo su Vacher e da qui di nuovo vai su su questa parte qui, e la fai però molto veloce, perché io voglio sapere che cazzo sta succedendo con Vaché. Non so quanto sia sensato sto party per combattere qui, Questo è solo il party d'esplorazione, in fin dei conti. Vabbè. Spero che non duri più di 10 minuti questa parte qui, perché voglio davvero tornare in tribunale. Cioè, se ieri sera abbiamo chiuso la live dicendo cazzo, voglio sapere cosa faremo adesso a menar le mani nella zona dei synth, adesso voglio tornare in tribunale immediatamente, tipo. Dove siamo? Che succede? Quindi il party setup non lo posso più cambiare? Oh, che palle. Vabbè, ci terremo ste bestie. Ta ta ta. Oh. Non cascare, grazie. Salve.
Things are about to get dicey.
Minchia se mena Yelan. Guardala quante botte che mena. Terrificante, cazzo. Yelan è davvero scoperta dell'anno, Secondo me Jinkyu davvero non gli può manco scalzare i calzini. Quando mai? Certo, ma prima ci sarà una boss fight, vero? Ho sbagliato. Rimettiti gli occhiali sus, Paimon, cazzo.
Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
A quanto pare è correlato al caso di Jacques.
Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it.
Certo, come previsto.
The existence of the third person, right?
Sì. Altro?
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely.
Certo.
I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia.
Quello che io non capisco è perché avessero scelto Navia come prossimo target. Cioè, come vengono scelte le ragazze che vengono rapite e sciolte? Perché quello cambia tutto, no? Cioè, sei obbligato a prendere Navia per qualche motivo? Lo stai facendo perché è un target magari utile perché abbatti gli Spina di Rosula? O semplicemente hai detto, boh, mi sta sul cazzo Navia, pigliamo lei.
They're all just so evil.
Sì, Paimon, vero. Callus Investigation Report, ok. Poi, che altro? Oh, qua faranno l'acqua magica.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
No! Piccola! No, Paimon, dai!
Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How can
Tesoro.
someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal of the disease searcher is to save his lover, a woman called Vignair, who was dissolved. Ah, adesso si potrebbe spiegare tutto. Quindi Marcel in realtà è Vacher e il suo obiettivo è di salvare Vignair, che è la sua amata che si era trasformata in quel... come cazzo si chiamano? In quell'Oceanid.
So that's why he did all of these experiments.
Ma solo per... cioè...
Wait, did he really
Wow.
think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and
infatti
over?
mi sembra un po' esagerato.
It's just insane.
C'è anche un altro nome qui, Vacher.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
E a quanto pare no, è il ricercatore.
You mean Vacher is the one who did
E questo quindi è stato un evento ancora precedente alle sparizioni. Sì, ha firmato un paio dei report degli esperimenti. Who is heard from the photo was probably Vignair. Sì.
So that's it. Vacher was no victim, but personally took his lover and
No, però aspetta, mi sembra strano.
either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water?
Forse c'è stato un errore? Qualche tipo di... boh.
In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Va bene. Ok. C'è altro di rilevante? Qui?
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea.
Un bel po'.
Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth?
Non l'assaggiare. Però vabbè, la producono qua.
Super obvious.
Ok. Abbiamo finito? Sembrerebbe di no. Cos'altro ci rimane da osservare? Credo basta. Qua. Soldi. Sono soldi? Ah no.
It's a bunch of really cute things.
Cose carine.
Accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box.
C'è un nome.
Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names?
Ci saranno delle vittime.
Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water.
Sì.
And all the boxes of things. These names. That means... Oh, this is terrible.
Patata. Abbiamo finito? Ti prego, dimmi di sì, basta, non so cos'altro devo guardare. Cos'altro rimane da osservare? Qui cos'è? Ah, la pozza.
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here. And it's full of water.
È la... sì, è l'acqua del primordial
That
sea.
means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient.
Sembrerebbe.
If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Brava Paimon. Finito?
We've looked
Ok.
at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But
Chi è sto Vacher?
yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity.
Non abbiamo prove.
No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit.
Maybe not clever enough, let's look
Sure
again.
thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either.
Brava Paimon. Cos'altro c'è da controllare qui? Look for all the clues related to Vaché. L'unica cosa che ci rimane sono questi documenti, no? Vaché didn't care how many victims he had destroyed in question. Vabbè, there's nothing even Vaché's true identity. Qui non credo proprio che ci sia qualcosa di interessante. Sono sempre le bottiglie. Questa è l'unica parte che avrebbe senso, no?
You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something for sure.
Vai. Dopo un po' di tempo.
Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Sì, però che due palle. Cioè, davvero tu mi stai facendo perdere tempo con sta cosa a riguardare le cose di nuovo quando posso tornare in tribunale e essere incuriosito da quello che sta succedendo lì? Non c'è manco il combattimento vero qua.
Vignier. Isn't that Vaché's lover's name?
Ci sarà una foto dentro?
You found her diary. Let's see. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
C'era una lista di nomi per bambini? Ivan Dan.
So many. A whole page's worth. But they're all crossed out. Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was...
Dimmi che è Marcel. Eccolo là. Non c'era scritto neanche lontanamente Marcel.
Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vaché and Vignier's grown son?
Ok. Andiamo. Quindi lui è il figlio dei due?
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
Però mi sembra un po' troppo. Cioè, sta cosa per riportare la madre in vita, manco fosse la sua amata. Forse un po' troppo, no?
Do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vaché? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just
Ma lei come faceva a saperlo? Cioè lei che cazzo ne sapeva di Vaché e di Marcel? No, non rompere il cazzo, vi sto aiutando.
Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
Dici di non aver mai sentito parlare di Vaché? Ma a quanto pare stai mentendo.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vaché.
Aspetta. Ah, infatti no, era lui allora. Aspetta, un momento, serve la soundtrack giusta. Perché senti va. No, adesso te la metto io a finire la host giusta. Pressing Pursuit. Vado qua, aspetta.
After your lover, Vignier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you.
Quindi lui era effettivamente Vaché.
As a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vaché.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has
Eccoci qua. E quindi abbiamo il movente. E abbiamo anche le prove sul tempismo. Ah, Marcel, sentiamo? Vabbè, sta roba la potevi anche risparmiare, Navia, dai. Serio, posto così.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Che soundtrack, mamma mia.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you think Do you really think I wanted to do any of this?
No.
Pay attention to you. What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes?
Ma ne hai mai parlato con
No
qualcuno?
one helped me. No one even believed me.
Ah.
All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me.
Ah.
They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever.
Ha senso
You only
allora.
have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow.
Ma perché non ti sei sciolto anche tu
But I'm
allora? Non
not from
capisco.
this
Ah, è vero, perché non è di
place.
Fontaine lui.
So I can't be dissolved.
Certo.
No matter what I do.
Cazzo. Allora un po' ha senso. E quindi che fa?
Is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
Si
I
combatte?
can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed callous still got the better of me.
E a questo proposito, io ancora non mi spiego il perché abbia scelto di targetare Navia. Cioè, di tutte le povere stronze che tu puoi rapire e dissolvere in come ti pare e piace, nel tuo nascondiglio segreto, perché devi andare a targetare la figlia di un boss mafioso? Ma che cazzo... Che fra l'altro è la figlia del boss mafioso che ti sostiene a livello economico. Ma la logica dietro questa scelta, ma perché? Ma che senso ha?
I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot
Non ha
daughter at
molto
the
senso
very
sta
end.
cosa.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain
Placcatelo.
him.
Don't
Sparare.
touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignier. I promise. We made a promise. Vignier. Vignier. Please, Vignier. Don't think badly of me.
Un po' tardi ormai,
Fulfill our
Un po'
promise.
tardi, mate.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Peccato, mi sarebbe piaciuto
Fine by
vedere
me.
menare le
I
mani a
was in a
Tartaglia.
bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Perfetto.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
Ok.
The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier.
Ma come ha
During
fatto
an
Vignier a
underwater
essere
expedition,
sciolta?
Vignier accidentally
ok.
came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result.
Ok, adesso si spiega un po' di
Vacher
roba.
learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson.
Ok.
During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rasula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rasula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet.
Quindi a lui faceva più comodo
Although the assassination did
avere...
not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene.
Quindi a lui faceva più comodo avere il mercato del synth piuttosto che l'aiuto economico da parte degli Spina di Rosula. che posso capire, c'è una scelta, va bene, rimane la questione di targetare Navia che non ha alcun senso, a meno che non lo abbia fatto come bait, diciamo, per costringere Callas a cadere nel suo piano. Anche lì, ma a sto punto butta una boccetta d'acqua addosso a Callas e fai prima, no? Non ha molto senso così. Non lo so.
Vache attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method.
Ma anche qui, scusami, cioè tutto praticamente...
And the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vache's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court.
Però anche lì, cioè tutto si basa sul plot twist che lui era presente a teatro, ma noi lui non l'avevamo mica visto. Cioè, è una cosa che il gioco si è inventato adesso. Perché non c'era neanche tipo una roba che ci facesse pensare, presagire, manco tipo una frase detta male. Cioè, ma noi questa cosa non te l'avevamo raccontata, quindi tu eri lì effettivamente, capito? Sai, il tipico plot twist molto cheap di lui che si contraddice, cioè lui che dice una cosa che non dovrebbe sapere e tu dici, quindi lo sapevi, sei un bastardo, è colpa tua. Quella roba non c'era. Ma poi anche lì, perché avrebbe dovuto incolpare Linny? L'utilità di questa cosa quale sarebbe stata? Avresti smesso con i rapimenti? Cioè, l'ordine è, io ho deciso di incolpare Linny. Linny viene incolpato dei rapimenti delle tipe e tutto quanto, e poi tu smetti? Dici, ok, Linny si è preso la colpa, a me non mi cercheranno mai più, sono a posto? Smetti con gli esperimenti, smetti con quello che era il tuo vero obiettivo, ovvero trovare un modo per salvare la tua ragazza? Smetti così? Non ha senso. E anche lì, perché utilizzare tutta la pantomima, no, del pubblico, della tipa che viene scelta dal pubblico per trasformarsi in... La logica dietro? Qual era? E poi c'era la guardia che in realtà era parte del gruppo di Marcel. E quella lì come l'hai fatta sciogliere di preciso? C'era tipo un comando telecomandato? Non lo so. Non lascia davvero molto a desiderare. Non c'è tutta la verità, però va bene. Quanto stronzi, bravi tutti.
The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vache.
Colpevole. Non lo so. Dico molto sinceramente, non ci siamo. Ci sono troppi punti di domanda ancora non chiusi. Male. Più lungo il nome, Guilty. Eccoci qua.
Guards, take Vache away.
Furina se la gode, eh?
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history.
Oi.
Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken
Ma
guy?
lavorava con la mafia. Lavorava con la mafia.
He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Non credo che sia per niente felice di tutta questa cosa. Stiamo comunque parlando di una persona a cui lei voleva bene.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. It's finally over. It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner.
Sono io.
See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Certo.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
Ma in tutto questo, Childe, la sua presenza qui e la sua utilità, cosa... Poteva essere qualsiasi altro personaggio e non sarebbe... Poteva chiamarsi Peppino, essere un tizio che non avevamo mai visto. Cosa sarebbe cambiato? Niente?
Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to.
Noi abbiamo ancora la sua
So,
vision
if
in tutto
you'll
questo, eh.
excuse me.
Please wait just one
Ecco
moment,
qua.
Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Ok, quindi verrà
come
definito
on.
non colpevole,
Is this
siamo a
really
posto.
necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
Ok.
This has always been the rule.
Adesso farebbe riderissimo se lo
Alright,
definissero
but this sure
colpevole.
is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
La butto. Viene definito colpevole. Dobbiamo capire il perché.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
Eccoci qua. È stato fissato. Ah. L'hanno incastrato.
Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent?
L'hanno incastrato.
What's with this verdict?
Ed ha qualcosa a che
Is your
vedere con
justice machine
Snesnaya?
malfunctioning?
Snesnaya!
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui
Vabbè,
harbinger?
ma che c'entra?
Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
Così, per ridere.
Weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
Che sta succedendo qui?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict.
Non se ne parla minimamente.
Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
Ma non credo che lui sarà d'accordo. No. No. Quella non è la faccia di qualcuno che sta per farsi arrestare, mi sa.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke.
Lui non ha paura manco per il caso.
Well, I've got mine too.
Questi immagino che non siano neanche lontanamente polvere sulla spallina di Tartaglia. Pronto? Questa è nuova? Ah no, ok, è la versione armatura. Nuvilletta?
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth.
L'ha piombato così?
The court must be upheld.
L'ha piombato così? Ah. Ah, ok. Ma scusami? Ok, sono molto sorpreso.
Monsieur Neuvillette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a
Ma
situation.
che cazzo di figata.
However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court.
Sì, ma se non dà neanche una
All I do
spiegazione,
is
che
follow
senso
court
ha?
procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Forse è il caso. Dobbiamo chiedere all'Arcon.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea
infatti.
either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Qualcosa non ci
Yeah,
torna,
so are the verdicts reliable or not?
Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me you thought even I had been blindsided by the oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
Già.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment! If you thought Childe had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed
Se la bevono?
in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the oratrice's verdict.
Ok. Che tradotto vuol dire lei non ha idea del perché sia successa questa cosa. E c'è qualcosa sotto. Sicuro lei non è la creatrice dell'oratrice. Dobbiamo capire come è stata manomessa, immagino. Ed è per questo che stiamo parlando di Childe. Perché ha qualcosa a che fare con Stesnaya.
Although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
Sì, Paimon, lei non sa un cazzo, chiaramente, è solo una buffona.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
No, ma non gli stiamo tirando via nessuno zerbino da sotto i piedi, cioè è chiaro il fatto che lei sia una deficiente.
To investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
Bravo New Villette. Sto notando solo ora che tipo i suoi ornamenti sulla giacca sembrano proprio la bilancia, no, della giustizia. Figo.
Alright. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
Non lo so. Leave the Opera House. New Villette comunque è rivelazione di Fontaine, eh? Proprio capo del mondo, personaggio preferito ora come ora. Ci ha messo le mani in faccia a Childe. Lui non se ne è neanche reso conto. Vabbè, se ne è reso conto perché l'ha ferito. Però cazzo, l'ha spento. L'ha spento in modalità delusion. Quindi... E non sembra aver fatto neanche fatica, capito? È quella roba pazzesca.
Traveler! Hey, Traveler!
Marcel, dimmi tutto. Aiuto, ci vuole innaffiare.
Stop resisting arrest. Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
Già, perché 26 omicidi già non bastano.
Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Sentiamo. Dice lui, per noi, va bene.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache?
Oh, ci è arrivato in effetti. Me l'ha detto la tua tipa.
I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
L'abbiamo incontrata.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it?
Abbiamo incontrato la fontana di Lucene, so qualcosa che aveva a che fare con l'hydro
The
element.
fountain of Lucene?
Con la sensibilità.
Then she's
Scaldabagno?
been so close to me all along.
Ok.
And I just never.
Ciao.
Please, please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What?
Ok.
Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
In effetti, non è che se lo meritasse proprio, eh.
Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans? Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs?
Scusami?
Very well. I will grant your request.
New Villette? Devi dirci qualcosa? Sulla tua identità?
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Quindi New Villette potrebbe essere una forma, diciamo, primordiale dell'oratrice, mi verrebbe da dire, perché definirli umani mi sembra chiaramente un modo per indicare che lui non lo sia. Questo vorrebbe dire che fa quello che fa l'oratrice. Non è un umano come l'oratrice. I giudizi sono sempre uguali a quelli dell'oratrice. Oh. I drank water from the primordial sea. My sensitivity to hydro element.
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing.
Però quando l'abbiamo bevuto la prima
Did he
volta?
just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case.
Potrebbe essere.
Vache.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vignier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache?
Non può parlare?
I'm here! Where are you, Vignier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Che fa?
Vignier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vignier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember.
Un po'.
How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this
Poverino, un
time,
po' mi dispiace
only
per
the
lui,
thought of
però.
bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me.
È che non ha fatto processi, capito? Cioè non ha ottenuto nessun risultato sciogliendo quelle ragazze. Avessi tenuto tipo, sai, la loro consistenza della serie, poi quando capisco come fare le riporto in vita pure loro.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
Che senso? Non è una cosa carina da dire.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day.
Scusami?
If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself.
Cosa stai dicendo? Lo sta trattando di merda?
I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks.
Ma stai scherzando? Ma non avevi detto che lo amavi tantissimo?
It's all because of you.
Ma non avevi detto che lo amavi tantissimo e stavi bene, eri tranquilla? Infatti no, wait. Sembra un po' strano.
I am not Vignier.
Oh!
I am the sacrifices.
Cazzo, ok. Sono gli altri.
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved,
Our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea.
Ah, merda.
Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine.
Ok, adesso ha senso.
I am not is Vignier.
Perché no? Vignier se l'è spassata? È sparita?
Where is Vignier?
L'hanno inglobata?
She doesn't want to see you
Ah,
anymore.
merda.
Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you.
Perché è schifata da quello che ha fatto,
This is
immagino.
what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became?
Ha senso?
You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
Perfetto.
The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
Ma non è quello che ci aveva detto l'altra volta, o sbaglio? No, infatti... Ah, ok, quindi ci avevano fregato pure a noi. Allora ha senso. Allora ha senso.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please! Have mercy!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore.
Comprensibile.
But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Wow. Ok.
Vache! 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 Drown.
Oh, fuck me. Terrificante sta roba. Figo, l'hanno fatto molto bene. Molto molto bellina questa parte. Hey, the guys find the copy of the series where a young woman kills herself a period of lost his soul. Ma fammi leggere! Vabbè, praticamente c'è rimasto non secco, ma comunque di sicuro incosciente.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time.
Anche questa è andata, andiamo a fare shopping, dai. Vabbè. Ehi, guarda chi si vede. Ciao Navia.
I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Ah sì?
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Salve Silver.
Oh, hey Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Vero, vero.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen.
Ah sì?
Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come.
Okay.
This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
Perfetto.
It's
Quello che
been the
volevamo.
dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago.
Quanto pare
Oh,
andava
by
bene,
the way,
dai.
I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service.
Ah, la fotografa?
Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there. And there was no way she'd just let me go.
Voleva un'intervista?
You know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Mica scemo.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wishes finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Grazie, Navia.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clorand out for a meal.
Ah, però, non male.
Are you two on better terms now?
Beh, dai. Ci ha salvato il
you were
culo un po',
investigating Vashay's headquarters. Clorand gave testimony on my father's behalf.
Ah, è vero, loro non lo sapevano sta cosa.
It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clorand wasn't actually a bad person. It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness.
Vabbè, piano piano,
Oh,
come è normale che
actually,
sia.
There's still one last thing I need to do.
Ovvero?
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended.
Ci sta.
And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Possiamo dire anche noi? Non so quanto sia una cosa carina da fare in realtà,
Callis is a really admirable person.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
Va bene.
And in that
Come vuoi.
case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now. This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh?
Ok.
There's someone there already.
Novillette?
That figure. It can't be. Isn't that Nervalette? Why
Sono
would the
troppo
Chief
forti,
Justice
sono troppo
be
forti.
here?
Sono troppo forti.
Navia?
Dai, sono fortissimo, sono incredibile. Sapevo tutto, sono pazzesco, dai.
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
Okay.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Dai, palesemente
In
la
any case,
macchina.
Why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival.
E invece?
But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated
Si è
to her.
sacrificato per un bene
And in the
superiore.
end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days.
Merda.
That high and mighty chair in the opera Epicles indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
Wow. Che figo.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before.
Si è dato da fare.
So you're
Ha
actually
imparato dei suoi
one of
errori.
those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Non imparerà mai, Navi. Inutile che ci provi.
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Yes.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there?
Non penso, dai.
Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad.
Ma no, stavamo scherzando, Paimon, tranquilla.
Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Second best thing, I guess. Vediamo che ci dice. Potevano farci risparmiare questi 4 secondi di camminata, però.
Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Yes.
We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see, I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine.
Ci dovete un grosso
It would be my
favore.
pleasure to return the favor.
Certo, sono d'accordo. Water from the primordial sea.
At court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea, but what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Okay.
So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today,
See?
the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Ma ne va anche un bel
So
po', eh?
that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of
Infatti
water?
questo è strano.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is
Okay.
there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Sì. Prophecy has been circulating about Fontaine.
That the sea levels will rise and everyone will
Vediamo
be
lui che ci
dissolved
dice.
in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good.
Sì.
Does that
Ok.
appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
Precisamente.
That's right! It was Lenny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the
ecco.
world before she passed away.
Dici di più su sta cosa?
Prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
No, è
Two
importante
parts of
però
the
sta
prophecy
cosa.
have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose.
E questa cosa è abbastanza importante perché finalmente si riconferma la solita questione del precedente Archon, no? Venti e Zhongli, ovvero Barbatos e Rex Lapis, sono finora gli unici due Archon che non sono stati in qualche modo collegati ai loro predecessori, se non ricordo male. Sono abbastanza sicuro di Zhongli e sono abbastanza sicuro anche di Venti, forse un po' meno di Venti, però perché non mi ricordo bene la questione di Barbados, stiamo parlando ormai di 3 anni fa, tipo 2 anni fa, è un po' un casino, 2 anni e passa fa. Però mi pare di ricordare molto chiaramente che nessuno dei due fosse in qualche modo correlato ai precedenti Archon, Anemo e Geo, ma Ei con Baal, Nahida con Ramatastla, come cazzo si chiamava? Roccadevata. E a questo punto anche Furina con la sua predecessore Hydro, tutti e tre questi Archon sono stati in qualche modo come dire influenzati dai loro predecessori, no? E questa cosa è una roba un po' particolare, perché mi chiedo effettivamente il perché Zhongli e Venti non lo siano stati.
If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
No.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Parlaci un po' di
My
Childe.
apologies.
Come sta messo?
My investigation has still not reached its conclusion.
Quindi non ci puoi dire nulla.
However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
Quindi non era del tutto
For many
innocente.
years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it.
Ok, quindi è tipo era come il megacomputerone di Sumeru, no? Che non è tecnicamente solamente un bot, solamente una macchina, ma è creato dal divino, quindi c'è qualcosa di più. Non solo macchina, non uomo, ma divino.
Not only can it
Ok.
produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness.
Ah.
Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
E che ha intenzione di farci in merito?
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored,
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to
Ma
investigate.
nessuno ha mai fatto
In any
una ricerca
case, I am
approfondita su
inclined to
questa
believe
oratrice,
that
su
the
come
Oratrice
funziona,
does
su
have
cosa
a
c'è
methodology all
dentro.
its own. We just do not have enough information.
Ok.
Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on.
Su questo siamo tutti
She
d'accordo.
managed to bluff her way through it, though. The time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama.
Furina ne sta uscendo davvero male da tutta questa storia, eh.
Now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger
Forse la peggiora il con per ora.
Fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
Certo, non so quanto sia proprio abbastanza. No, infatti.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me
Credo che gli
about?
farebbe piacere un rematch. Nostro
Your
fratello.
sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description.
Ma Shireen è l'unica bionda del
If he ever stepped foot in
Tevat?
Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our
No,
laws to the
c'è
letter
Jean, tipo.
and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera
Forse anche
Epicles.
Barbara.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
No, siamo a posto così. Grazie, direi.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time
Vale
for
lo
me to
stesso per me,
leave this
Niville.
blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as
Certo.
well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right, you've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that
È
the
vero,
rain
ha
has
smesso di
stopped.
piovere. Tra l'altro questo è... sembra un drago con lo spino qua. Flare and falls without reason. Quest completed. Bling. E abbiamo concluso, sembrerebbe. No. Ah no, sì, sono altre missioni, non sono missioni Archon, mi sa. Giusto? Yes, perfetto. E così allora concludiamo la prima parte della nostra avventura su Fontaine. Che devo dire, non mi ha lasciato pienamente soddisfatto, ma allo stesso tempo non mi ha lasciato pienamente insoddisfatto. Ha il suo perché. Sono contento del fatto che stiano cercando un nuovo gimmick da giocarsi e sono altrettanto contento di aver capito quale sia il focus centrale della storia di Fontaine, per ora, almeno da quello che mi pare di capire, ovvero la giustizia, la verità, la volontà di scoprire qual è la realtà dietro le cose e quanto effettivamente il contraddire ciò che una persona si aspetta che sia la giustizia e quello che la giustizia vera è vadano a influenzare l'un l'altro e come vengono viste appunto dalla società. Il fatto che Childe sia stato condannato, nonostante tutti pensassero che fosse innocente, sarà il trigger che molto probabilmente manderà avanti tutte le questioni che vedremo a livello quantomeno etico e morale all'interno di Fontaine, e sono molto contento perché somiglia un sacco a quella che è la trama del mio giochino e quindi sono davvero curioso di sapere quale sarà il punto di vista dei ragazzi di MiHoYo per quanto riguarda questa specifica cosa. Combattimenti zero totale, tipo, cioè pensavo che ci fosse almeno una battaglia finale, no? Al rifugio di Marcel o contro Marcel dopo che si era tracannato tutta quella robaccia. E invece a quanto pare no. A quanto pare così non è. E quindi niente. Per ora sempre un po'... Devo dire ancora quello che ho ripetuto ieri in realtà. Non è proprio problema di pacing. Io avrei aggiunto qualche battaglia in più. Però tutto sommato non è così terribile, non è più come all'epoca di Liyue o di Inazuma in cui c'erano i dialogoni infiniti da 4 ore e mezza in cui non succedeva un cazzo se non la gente che parlava. Qua almeno c'è qualche momento in cui puoi buttar giù le tue teorie, puoi ragionare un pochino su quello che sta succedendo, puoi inventarti qualche ipotesi strampalata, che magari strampalata non è. Qua almeno qualcosina fai. all'epoca era davvero un parla, ascolta, combatti, poi di nuovo parla, ascolta. No, 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 quello non ci siamo proprio. Già qui un po' meglio, un po' meglio. Comunque, detto questo, signore e signori, io vi saluto. Mua! Un bacione, grazie mille a tutti per essere passati. Ci beccheremo di nuovo con Genshin al prossimo appuntamento con l'Archon Quest, che dubito sarà a brevissimo. Credo aspetteremo almeno un altro paio di mesi. Di solito arriva verso novembre, se non ricordo male, la seconda parte, o comunque in generale verso la fine dell'anno. E attendiamo quello e vedremo un po' cos'altro avremo da scoprire. Nel frattempo, Childe, incatenato. FRAT'M ingiustamente... ingiustamente incarcerato e ci aspetta in prigione. Nada. Buonanotte a tutti e alla prossima. Ciao belli.